she could be making up a lie about it all. But she was remorseful. Hi everyone! Welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you won't miss another cheating story goes live. For context, my girlfriend and I are both Italians. Sorry for any English errors, but I find it pretty difficult to write or say everything that happened and to express my feelings. I had a 2-year relationship with this girl, and it was very healthy, stable, fun, and simple relationship with lots of trust and plans for the future. We both drink alcohol regularly and sometimes get drunk when we were apart, but nothing much, just normal. We both love each other so much and everything was going so well. One day she talked to me about the idea of going to Erasmus for 6 months and studying abroad in Spain. She says that she always dreamed of doing it. I obviously didn't like the idea of a LDR for 6 months, but seeing her so happy and so convinced about it and everything in the relationship was going. So, well, I thought, why not? So September 1st, I drove her to the airport. We both shared a tear and she left for Santiago de Compostela. First 2 weeks, she almost regretted it. She was feeling lonely and had a lot of trouble with all the bureaucracy of the Erasmus program and university. She always cried during calls and I was there for her. And I told her that when she started knowing friends and such, it would become a lot easier. She starts hanging out with different groups, a group of Spanish people and a group of Italian people. She started doing new things, as surf or trekking with the ESN program, and I'm happy to see that she is doing well now. We both decided that I would visit her in November, so I booked a flight and we booked a hotel for 3 days at Porto for our anniversary. One day she put a photo of us as a wallpaper on her phone and sent me a screenshot of it. I obviously appreciated it, but on that week, something felt strange. Although I didn't notice it because I had a lot to do and to study. We did less video calls, we talked less. I know what you're thinking. And here we go, October 7th. She confessed to me that she cheated on me with an Italian guy. She didn't have feelings for him. She didn't even like him. This guy kept pressing her and she refused for almost 12 hours, telling she was in a relationship. Then the night she was drunk, he accompanied her to her house. She told me she didn't want him to do it, but I guess she was too drunk to impose herself. He entered her house. Again, she told him not to, but I guess she was not in the best conditions of taking decisions. And then obviously it happened. She didn't give me an explanation of why. She simply said, I let him do anything and I don't know why. She was completely passive all the time. He undressed her and all. She said that it was horrible and didn't feel or like anything about it, didn't get excited or anything. Now, my main problem is that it happened exactly 3 times in 3 different nights. The same exact pattern repeated for the span of that week. I asked her why she didn't tell me after the first time. And this is the most complicated part of all things. Even though she remembered it vividly, she thought it was all a dream. She didn't give me a clear explanation of this. All I can say is that I feel she was being honest because she really felt different that week, and after she confessed to me, she returned to the girl I always knew. So I don't think she was trying to hide it from me. She said that she felt like she was living in a bubble, like she wasn't herself and all kinds of stuff. I guess suddenly starting living in another country and being alone makes you feel this way, but I really don't know. I'm mainly sharing because maybe someone felt the same way. She cried a lot and asked me to forgive her. She was clearly shocked by what she did. I obviously raged at her and told her that we were done. Gone, no contact for a month. Obviously, she continued writing to me that she missed me and she was sorry for what happened, but I didn't reply. After some time, I started thinking about what happened with a clear mind and talking with my family and friends to hear what they thought about it. She was not obviously that type of girl. And everyone that knew her told me the same thing. Her family and her friends too. I thought about her being drugged, but she didn't have any blackout, and she remembered everything clearly. So I don't think that's the case, and I don't know if it would have been better or worse. So in November, I reached back to her. She was really happy about it. She told me that she cut off all the people that she met there. She didn't go to a single party. She didn't drink anything. She just stayed at home, studied, watched Netflix, or went for a walk. Not because she felt that I needed proof of her words, but because she was clearly scared of what happened and didn't want it to happen again. She developed healthier habits, and I appreciated that a lot, truly proving that she wanted to change for the better. And she did to this day. I decided that I would have tried to reconcile with her. For the past months, we had highs and lows. We do video calls 24/7, and we share a lot of things that we do during the day. She returned for Christmas, and we saw each other again. Had a ton of good sex. She feels extremely happy. And so am I, but just with a few doubts. I'm not going all in. I'm testing waters. I'm not scared of having her and starting a new relationship, or to stay alone for some time. I want to take my time and do things slowly. And I'm reconciling because for now, I feel that it's what I want. Here is the second story. I came back to both an ex-best friend and probably a soon-to-be ex-wife. About a month ago, I returned from a deployment and was told by my best friend that my wife and him were having sex while I was gone. I was gone for about 2 months, and I figured out that they had sex about 5 to 7 times, not including the times they did oral or cuddle on the couch in the time frame. It started around a month after I was gone. Then they cut it off the next month and had a last interaction within the week before I came back. Backstory, my ex-best friend is going through a divorce, and my wife and I decided to help him out and allow him to live in our home. She claimed she didn't have feelings or think he was even attractive until after I was gone. He was living with us for about 45 months beforehand, and she would sometimes make fun of the way he looked at times. At least it was my only indication that she didn't find him attractive. Back to the story. So, he ended up pulling me away from the house about 4 days after I returned, and we drove around and told me he was sorry for doing what he did, and proceeded to tell me that he tested positive for chlamydia, possibly from another girl he had sex with recently, and told me that we needed to get tested. We did get tested, and everything came back negative. I immediately began to think, I need to fix this. I need to know how my wife feels. And I need to know why she thought that she needed to cheat on me. That night was an incredibly rough night. I didn't sleep that night because my mind was just racing. I confronted her about it the next day after she dropped our 2 kids off at daycare. I started with, "We need to talk about how you and X had sex." Her response was, "What? I don't know what you're talking about." And I replied, "He told me everything. I know it happened." She said, "That bitch?" We had our conversation about the why, when, and how, and her response was that she didn't think she loved me anymore and felt no remorse at the time. She said that she thought I was cheating while I was deployed and decided that she would get back at me by having sex with my best friend. Since I had returned, she fell back in love and was just hoping to forget about it ever happening. She said that before I returned that she had a plan to leave me. But once I was back, she didn't want to play it out anymore. We both agreed that we still wanted to stay with each other and try to make things work. We kicked AP out of the house, and the things were seemingly going good until last week when I realized that my wife didn't want to prioritize trying to help me through my emotional trauma. I had already started IC a couple days after the day, and she didn't seem to want to go for herself. She told me that I was putting too much on her plate. I broke down crying in front of her and had an extreme amount of thoughts that I'm being stupid and I should just quit. She didn't realize that I was having an extremely rough time because I'm usually smiling or not really showing much emotion at all. She didn't realize that I've been so hurt. I told her that I'm just constantly thinking about it and I wish I could just make it stop. Things again seem to be going good. We are just really good for each other, and she has very frequent anger issues that I know how to deal with at this point. I feel like I need to ask a question. So here it is. Did anyone else WS think that things were just okay and felt they can just continue on with regular life without feeling the need to do anything else for themselves? I asked this question because I was really hurt that she didn't take things seriously and thought that we can just move past it with time. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for any future cheating stories.